Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods up here as we sit 107 days, 20 minutes, and 11 seconds away from kickoff of the 2019 season. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to under 100 days. Just one more week. I know it's still a long ways away, but we're getting closer. And right now, today, friends, that's right, today, we saw this out on the field. That's right. We saw Travis Frederick and his beard out on the field hiking the ball to my quarterback, Dak Prescott. And as far as we've heard thus far, no injuries on the field, thank God, because you know what? Football's crazy. You can get hurt doing anything, getting off the bus, cutting a bagel or walking and trying to catch your cell phone. So let's pray that our guys stay healthy. But I got to tell you, a key for this season is going to be how well Travis Frederick does. And if Travis Frederick, because see, Frederick is kind of like the keystone. You know what a keystone is? Like when you build an archway is held together by gravity by basically that keystone, that one piece that's in the middle. It's kind of funny shape. All the rest of them are shaped kind of like a wedge. This one is shaped, kind of like this. But all the weight and all of the pressure is put against that one, and that holds that arch up in the air, defying gravity. And Travis Frederick is our linchpin. Let's make no mistake about it. He is the field general for the team. He is the keystone for that offensive line. Joe Looney did great last year, but he was no Travis Frederick. And if we're getting back Travis Frederick, the Pro Bowl Travis Frederick, you're talking about adding a Pro Bowler back to our offensive line of last year. That's huge. Now, sorry. Forgive me. The drive to Waynesboro and back, I've driven about 300 miles today and done some work and stuff, so I'm a little bit exhausted at the moment. But that keystone is paramount because that's also going to help define what we do as an offensive line. Because you've got Connor Williams who, he's bulked up. He really wants to play tackle, but can play guard. You got Connor McGovern, who's a young pup, who can play center and guard, but you really don't want to have to play him just yet. You want to let him be able to ace. Let him be basically a swing guy. Then, of course, you got Joe Looney, who can play center or guard as well. And then, of course, you got Lyle Collins out of tackle. So if you do feel that Travis Frederick is the guy that you believe he is, then you can kind of reshuffle the line and try and get the best 5 players out there. Because Connor Williams might be able to play tackle, he might be able to play guard. You can go either one. You may start working with, Connor McGovern could be lights out, and you say, you know what, I want to go ahead and put him at guard and put Connor Williams at tackle and have maybe Lyle. Who knows? They're going to figure it out between now, mini camp, and of course training camp. So that's a big, big sign for our team, and definitely a good thing to have. Today's session, of course, is closed to media. Tomorrow, the media stuff will be around, so tomorrow will be a big, big day. Now, of course, everything that's been talked about the last couple of days has been actually Zeke Elliott. We've talked about it ad nauseum and so on about it, and people have looked at the video. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you look at it and say it's nothing, okay? But here's the thing. Because people say, well, he wasn't arrested. They just put handcuffs on him. The guy did a flop and everything else. That is your perspective of it. And ours, of course, as Cowboy fans. But understand, there was a difference of opinion on what led to his suspension before. Because Zeke Elliott, let's be honest now, throughout the whole allegations and 6-game suspension, he was never in handcuffs either. He was never arrested either. He was never charged either. But the NFL did their investigation where their own investigator said there's nothing there. There were witnesses who said that the other person who made the allegations was lying. There was text messages basically saying, I'm trying to extort from you. Okay, and don't listen. I wasn't there. I'm just putting out what has been told. Okay, so don't go through and say, well, that was your daughter. Listen, I'm putting out there. If there wasn't enough evidence for the police to bring charges or the district attorney and all that, then how is it the NFL was able to do what they did? Because it's the NFL, and it's the personal conduct, and they have suspended people before who haven't been charged with things. And here's the thing. This is what Tyson was talking about yesterday. In the letter, 6-page letter that he got from the NFL basically describing why he was suspended, they went through, they looked at the video, of course, from the St. Patrick's Day parade where he pulled the woman's top down. This was everything in totality. So you have that situation that was in there, and then, of course, you have the domestic abuse allegations as well. And so, as they put it, during the course of our education, this is, wait, hold on, I'm sorry, where was it? They've basically gone through the course of our investigation, we believe that you ended up doing something, so we're suspending you for 6 games without pay. And here is what they determined. You are hereby suspended without pay for 6 regular season games, subject to appeal, which he did over and over again. You must have no further adverse involvement with law enforcement, and you must not commit any additional violation of league policies. That's the only thing that bothers you, because you don't know if they're going to determine, say, the security guy who may have egged them on, if that is law enforcement, or if it's the perception of, we have already seen you with Boobygate. We've already seen you with the allegation of domestic violence. We've already warned you that you now have no margin for error. So that one line right there, you must have no further adverse involvement with law enforcement and must not commit additional violations of league policy, which is very vague. There is no written out exactly what it is. It is what Roger Goodell says it is. So what happens with this? I don't know. Because we've seen different situations where other players have been able to get away. I'm sorry, pulling up something. Have been able to kind of get away with stuff that others didn't. And when you think about what we saw with Zeke, it pales in comparison to some of the stuff that we've seen. For example, this one. Now, to me, this right here is more of what we're talking about, where you look and say, you know what, that's shoving, that's hitting, that's beating down somebody. Yeah, that's a Redskin player, Nicholson. Nicholson, who the police said there wasn't enough evidence to make a charge between him and his girlfriend. And he awaits what the NFL's decision on if they're going to do anything with him or not. So I look at this And I look at Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott, who turned around and said, "Do you have something to say to me?" and nudged the guy. Versus a guy who gets pulled off, who's kicking, punching, swinging left and right. Now you tell me. I don't know where this is going to go, but I know this much. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, you don't get the breaks. Hopefully, Zeke wakes up and realizes I can't be in this situation. Let's hope we get a break and we don't lose him. And let's hope that we don't have any other situations like this. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys soon.